Why do some acts of help feel empowering while others feel diminishing? I've spent some time thinking about that question, and the answer, at least for me, has less to do with the help itself, but more to do with something else entirely. Hey friends, welcome back. My name is John, and I live in New York City with an eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa, which causes vision loss over time. Recently, I had a conversation with someone in his 70s who also has RP. We talked about a lot of things, but one thing he said stuck with me. After decades of living with vision loss, he told me that most people genuinely want to help. They're not trying to be disrespectful. They're not trying to take away your independence. Most of the time, they're trying to do something kind. And when I thought about my own experiences, I realized that's been true for me too. Over the years, I've received help that made difficult situations easier. I've also had moments where help felt uncomfortable, awkward, or even diminishing. The difference was something I found myself thinking about for some time, and that's what I want to talk about today. One of the best examples of help I've received happened the first time I traveled through Grand Central Station on my own to catch a Metro North train. I found an information booth and asked if someone could help me get to the correct platform. The employee radioed another worker, and when he arrived, the first thing he asked me was, "How can I help you?" It sounds simple, but that question made all the difference. I told him which train I was trying to catch. I told him I still had some usable vision left, and I told him I would need a sighted guide to help me get to the platform. He extended his arm, I took hold, and he guided me to the train. The whole experience was smooth. Looking back, what stands out to me isn't that he knew exactly what I needed. He didn't. What stands out to me is that he asked. He didn't assume. He didn't take over. He gave me the opportunity to explain what would be helpful, and I think that's why the interaction worked so well. Of course, not every interaction goes that smoothly. One time, after I boarded an airplane, the flight attendant handed me a copy of the safety instructions in Braille. It was thoughtful. The only problem was that I can't read Braille, at least not yet. She was trying to help, but she didn't know that. She just assumed because I walked onto the plane with a white cane. I've had similar experiences where people will grab my arm or even my cane without asking because they think they're helping me avoid an obstacle or get somewhere safely. From their perspective, they're stepping in to help. From my perspective, someone I've never met just took control over my movement. What's interesting is that I don't think either side is trying to create a bad experience. Most sighted people learn about blindness through observation. Most blind people learn about other people's assumptions through repeated interactions. And those perspectives often make sense individually, but collide socially. The intentions are usually good. The disconnect happens when assumptions replace questions. But not every difficult situation happens because someone else is off. Sometimes, it's me. I remember eating at a restaurant inside a building I had never been to before. When I finished dinner, the host asked me if I needed help getting back outside. I thanked them and said no. In my mind, it seemed simple. I made it into the restaurant on my own, so I should be able to find my way back out. Instead, I ended up wandering through parts of the building I had never seen before. Eventually, I made it out, but it took much longer than it needed to. Looking back, the host was not questioning my independence. They were offering assistance that could have made the situation easier. I've seen the same patterns show up in bigger ways too. A few years ago, I sprained my ankle while I was running. Friends offered to help go with me to the doctor's office, but I declined. So I got treated and left the clinic limping with a crutch in one hand and my white cane in the other and struggled to get home by myself. Looking back, that was much harder than it needed to be. Those experiences taught me something I didn't expect. Sometimes we talk about dignity and independence as if they always move in the same direction, but they don't. There have been times where I've held on to independence so tightly that I've made it harder for myself. And that's when I started realizing that accepting help doesn't automatically mean giving up agency. One experience in particular changed how I think about all of this. When I travel, I can request assistance at the airport because of my vision loss. I have good mobility and I can walk just fine. The challenge is navigating a busy airport, getting to security, and finding the right gate. What surprised me when I first started using services was how often airport staff would bring a wheelchair. I remember thinking, why am I in a wheelchair? I can walk. It didn't feel great. It felt like something was being taken away from me. So one day, I told an airport employee that I would rather walk. I explained that I still had usable vision and that verbal directions would probably be enough. What happened next stuck with me. The employee listened and then calmly explained why he prefers using the wheelchair. He explained that the wheelchair makes it easier for him to move people safely to the airport, and it helps make sure that I get where I need to go safely too. He wasn't forcing me, he wasn't telling me what to do. He was explaining his perspective. And for the first time, I started seeing the situation differently. The wheelchair was not really about whether I was capable of walking. It was a tool that helped both of us navigate a complicated environment. What changed the experience was not the wheelchair itself. It was the fact that I still had a choice. He explained his reasoning. He gave me information I didn't have, and then he let me decide. Looking back to this moment, I think that's when I began to understand the difference between dignity and control. The issue was never whether help was offered. The issue was whether I remained part of the decision. I've noticed the same dynamic in other parts of life too. Sometimes friends or family will say to me, "Stay here," and most of the time, they're trying to be considerate. But what makes those moments difficult is not because of having to wait. It's the feeling of being left out of the experience. Over time, I've realized that what I'm usually looking for is not less help. It's more participation. Whether I go along or decide to wait, I want to remain part of the decision. I want to remain part of what's happening. For a long time, I thought dignity came from needing less help. As my vision changed, I spent years trying to adapt and do as much as I could on my own. And the more I've navigated vision loss, the more I've realized that needing help is not really the thing that bothers me. What bothers me is the feeling like I've lost my place in the decision, like things are happening for me instead of with me, like I'm being excluded from an experience rather than included in it. That's why I don't think dignity is about doing everything yourself. I think dignity is about remaining a participant in your own life, being able to ask questions, being able to make decisions, being able to be involved in the things that matter to you. And maybe that's true for more than blindness. I think that most people want the chance to remain part of the story that's unfolding around them. And maybe that's why so many of these moments come down to perspective. Not just how we see ourselves, but how we see each other. Perspective changes everything. See you in the next one.